Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more FM22. We're playing with the Bohemians in the Czech Republic, and the preseason is over. Oh yes, we're moving into the 25-26 season. But before we are getting, as you can see here, we have a pretty easy game, and then a pretty hard game in our first two games here. So these guys actually came up from last season, but I don't care about that in this episode, because this episode is all about looking at players, the transfers, stuff, right? All the things that happen in the preseason, right? That's what this episode is all about. So, and as we can see here, the first thing to look at is, of course, the fixtures. I mean, why wouldn't I start there? And it's been, we actually played more friendlies than this. There was a couple, I think 4 or 5 friendlies. So I actually managed to squeeze in quite a few friendlies here. Did I need to do that? No, not really, because, well, I didn't really need to develop my tactic too much. So, but I believe if we move over here, we did have a couple more, yeah, and it was all wins. And not a whole lot of goals conceded. So I still think this... I mean, how many did we concede? 3, that's 2, 5, 6, 7 in what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You know, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That is actually spot on what kind of goals conceded that I was talking about in the last episode. So yeah, I think we're good in terms of our tactic. I don't think there is anything to do there actually, moving forward into the season. So that's great. But we will take a look at the tactic as well. But it's basically the same as last season, right? So the one that we developed in the winter transfer. Anyway, I think we're gonna start with the players that have been released and, you know, stuff like that. So let's get into it. Well, as it turns out, I actually haven't released anyone. The big surprise, right? That's a change. Well, that's because many of the players are actually on some pretty long contracts, or well, this season was just one of those where we didn't really have anyone that got released. Or actually, I think a couple of the guys that should have been released actually got transferred instead. So as you can see, a lot of moving parts here, right? And even more if we go back, because it starts right here from Velcek and onwards, right? So Velcek got I'm a little bit concerned about this, because he was actually a pretty good player. He's 18 years old. He's a homegrown in the club. So some of those guys, some of them, I need to keep some of them, right? I need to keep some of my youngsters. Right now, I'm actually getting rid of a lot of them, so it's a bit of a problem for the future. It might also be a problem this season. But he went to Victoria Pilsen for 230k, or possible 230k. I mean, that's a good amount of money for an 18-year-old that I didn't really expect to use this season. And as we know, you know, I was out with a gutting knife. I was there, in there, pushing them out. Jakob Witt, another youngster, being moved out to Banigostrava. 46 to 59k. I'm okay with that. Seaman, this is probably a mistake. I should probably have kept him. Again, he's actually a pretty decent player, and he could be that 3rd or 4th backup on the wide back. White back? No. Winger. The wing back. Because I don't have enough players right now in my squad to register everyone for the cups, the European competitions, right? So that might be a mistake, but at least, well, he's actually back where he started. He was there last season as well, back on a loan. No fees for the future or anything. It's just a loan. Quebec, he is out. He's one of those guys that I was going to release anyway, so they went in for him here, Pardubici. He was on loan with them last season, and now he's moving down there to help them maybe stay up. I doubt he's gonna be helpful in that situation. He didn't even play that well last season for them, but they decided to get him anyway. Chihak, very good deal, moving to Slien, 60k. He was one of those B squad players that I really wanted to get rid of. And he's gone. He is absolutely gone. 26 years old. He was never going to be good enough. So he's gone for 60k. That's brilliant. Same with Lucas Serb. Gone. A midfielder. We used him one season. But again, he's just not good enough. And Opava went in for him, up to 74k. Again, very happy about that deal. Money is coming in, as we can see here, 24 to 25 season. A lot of money coming in that season. This is also calculated into that, but I would say it should probably be over here, but whatever. So moving into where it changed into the 25-26 season here, we got again a youngster who was running out of contract. We had a couple of those. He went for a free to another club. Yao Lim is another youngster who I don't. Yeah, he's a winger. I could have kept him, but I don't really think he was good enough. I mean, he could become really good if he developed quite a lot with playing time, but 65k or potential 65k, sure, take it. Now this is an interesting one. I didn't expect to sell Könighaus, but he's actually sold. He got a mandatory loan future fee of 66k. So he's out on loan, and then we will get 66k at the end of the season next season. Not a whole lot for Könighaus, but I was really out with the the Gotting knife, so or the Solder knife, or whatever you want to call it. Tijani, that's a good deal. He's going to Wiki Tourist. I did see that. So they're a Nigerian team, so he's going back to Nigeria. I don't know if he's actually ever been there. Oh yeah, he did start in Nigeria. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so he's going back, and he's going to play for the Wiki Tourists. 72k, I think that's a pretty good deal for us. Philip Braut, he is one of the new signings, and we should probably look at him, right? We should probably look at him right now. So he's a wingback, and he's kind of a mistake, but I mean, with some playtime, some good first team playtime, he could become a lot better. He's only 23, but I think this is probably the mistake that I have made when it comes to transfers myself this season. I didn't really need him, and it was a mistake getting him in. He's fairly cheap, but I didn't need him, and he's on a long contract. That might have been a big mistake. He's going back to Croatia, to Istra 1961 in the first division. So yeah, just getting a bit of playtime out there. Marinkovic, our second goalkeeper from last season, he is moving out on a loan. I don't think it is. Oh, it got a loan future fee of 90k, but that's optional. They don't need to do it. So we might have him next season as well. But he's out on loan, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that actually. And we got Andre David. It's another youngster. I don't really see this guy being any good. He's 17 already, and he didn't really develop a whole lot. His physicals are really great, but yeah. 71k, Mlada Boleslav, absolutely, I'll take that off your hands. Gulstorf, this became a mistake. It wasn't a mistake from the get-go. He is also a new player, Lauge Gulstav. He is a Danish boy, he is a central defender, and why am I saying this? Why is he a mistake now and not before when I actually signed him? Because of other things happening, right? That's the case. Sometimes things happening that you didn't really think about, and all of a sudden you don't really need a player anymore. So he is back on loan in Denmark with HB Køge. This should be a fairly good deal, and he's really young still, so he could develop and come back next season maybe for us. That's I wouldn't even call it a bad signing, because this guy could be he is good. He is good, and he could develop a lot out on loan still. So I'm not too concerned about that one actually. And there are no future fee or anything. Gabriel is yeah, he's one of those guys that I really wanted to get rid of. I could probably have gotten a little bit more for him, but we got him out on 71k, so we didn't really lose anything on him. We actually gained a few quits here and there, but yeah, he's gone. Simon Gabriel, one of the centre backs, he is goner. I needed to cut down on the central defenders, that's for sure. Jekovic is moving out on loan, just a standard loan if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just a standard loan to our affiliate club, Krodim, so they can get some use of him. I couldn't really sell him, so I decided to just let him go down to Krodim and help them out. Mika, 82 quid, another of our youngsters that I'm cutting off. This guy, again, I don't really see him ever being good enough for the first team squad, so why not just sell him? 82 quid. I love it. I love it. Hasim, another youngster going out on loan to Krodim. I could potentially have used him this season but I would never really use him probably. But he's definitely someone that I'm looking for in the future, because I think this guy could be a fairly good player. So yeah, a normal deal here. No option to buy or anything for Krodim. Kubala, he is a goner. He is going out on... Well, actually, he's only moving out on loan. He's not... I couldn't get him out with an option to buy, so I just moved him out, right? And saving up 6.75k in total cost for us. Oh well, at least his wages is... these wages, we don't have to worry about them, and we might have to release him next year. So yeah, I couldn't get rid of him. I couldn't sell him. I would say overall, it's very easy to ship off your youngsters, but very hard to get rid of these players here on... Yeah, being 25 and on 700 wages, having a year to go on their contract. It's really hard to get rid of those guys. So, well, he's out on loan, so that's good. Hanslik or Hanslik, Sunik Hanslik. Another youngster. He is a winger. I didn't really need him, but I would. And he's a mercenary. I don't really like mercenary personality, but because he's very selfish and it's not really helping the squad. I mean, it's not a big deal, but here's the thing: he's a really good player, and I think this guy could be worth something. So definitely moving him out on a loan deal to get some playtime again in Krodim. Same with this guy, Dvorak. He is actually a really good striker. I think this guy could be really good, and we're also moving him out to Krodim. Again, I want to try and help Krodim here with some of our really good youngsters, and I think they could help them. They're in the 2nd division and fighting for survival, and I think these guys could actually help them out quite a bit and also give us a lot of good play time in the 2nd division for these guys. He's only 15, man. He could have a big season down there. He could come back and be an absolutely beast. Like Siskaris, right? So that is what I have done in terms of going out. So that add up to 425. And last season we had 1.8 million. So we're definitely starting to, not sell big time, but and many of these guys are also our youngsters. But I don't. We just need to keep some of them. That's the problem, right? And some of them that I am keeping is going out on loan. That's the ones I want to keep. Because I don't really need them in my own under 19s, to be honestly true. I don't really need them there. And saving a bit on the wages is, well, that's only good, right? So that's the outs. That's the outs so far, because the transfer window is still going on, right? Well, that's the outs. So who did we buy, or who did we got in? Well, same thing, I guess. Well, we got a good list, as you can see. These are all the ins plus one. We have another signing that is not on this list for some odd reason, but I think I know why. But these are the ends, right? And some of them are already going out on loan, like Gullstrov, but we'll take a more in-depth look at them here. So first guy up is the first signing that I made. It is Juritka, Peter Juritka. He is an inside forward. I definitely needed some depth, and I needed someone that was close enough to being good enough to start in, right? That's the whole mindset here, getting them. And I think he is about that. He's only 20 years old as well. I think this is a brilliant signing. He could be a really, really good player. He is on some really heavy wages for what he is. But again, that could be some development here. He could have a fairly good seasoner for us. I'm expecting him to play like 15 to 20 games or something like that. Probably a lot of sub appearances as well. So he could also go up and play up front, but I don't really see him do that because we have a new striker up there as well. So yeah, I don't really see that happening. I think mostly it's going to be an inside forward when we are playing with an inside forward on the left-hand side, which is not very, very often we will do that. But we do have a decent player as a backup when we do. He's not a backup. He's the first choice inside forward on the left-hand side, right? But the way we are playing, we are mostly playing with a wide target man on the left-hand side. But sometimes it will be the other way around. So that's the first guy. Filip Braud, we already looked at him. He is a Croatian, 23. He went back on loan, right? What else is there to say about this guy? I don't know. Not really a whole lot. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this guy. He's here and he's back on loan, and maybe he will do a difference next season. I don't think so, but he's probably the mistake, right? He's that mistake that I made. Then we got an interesting one, Adam Horak. So he's a youngster. He's 19. I don't expect him to be a very, very big part of the season, but he is likely gonna be. I mean, I could loan this guy out. To be honest, I could do that to get some play time. I should probably do that, to be honest, because I don't think he's gonna get a lot of matches for us. He's just outside of the first team, right? He is sitting in our Bohemian B team, so he should probably go out on loan. But I'm expecting things from him next season, maybe, because I think he will develop quite a bit here. He got some good. He got the professional personality. He got really good determination, really good teamwork and stuff like that. And I think these attributes will go up over time. But he was kind of that player where I was just outside the first, not the first 11, but the first squad. But I still wanted him because he was a cheap deal, 300 wages, free deal as well, I believe. And then I didn't pay anything for him, so I don't see why I wouldn't pick this guy up. I think it's a good deal anyway. Then, so there we go. That's Hurak, and he's also left-footed, right? Yeah, he is the left-footed player. I think this was overall just a good deal to do and see if we can develop in a bit. Next one is Strabik. I paid 50k for him. And he's definitely not the first choice in the midfield, that's for sure. He's a Croatian, 20 years old, 925 wages, long contract, and he's good. Yeah, I mean, this player is really. He could be the next Luka Modric. I mean, nah, probably not. I think Luka Modric was probably better at 20 years old here. But yeah, he's just a fairly good central midfielder, some young blood in there who could definitely improve a lot this season. I'm expecting him to play at least a good amount of games. He's not as good as Solil or as good as Janusek or as good as Templeman, but he's the fourth choice, right? He's that fourth choice. And he's a youngster, right? So I'm very happy about this signing. I could see a big future for him here. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Gulstorff, well, that became a little bit of a like I said, he's back on loan in Denmark. So but we can talk more about him later on, I guess, because he's not going to be part of this season. So there we go. But again, I'm not too worried about it. It's a free transfer, and we got all of our wages. The loan is so we don't really pay anything for him right now, which is fine. Okay, now come some of the big ones. This is the big boys. The last three ones are actually the big boys. This is where it gets funny. So the first one is Sikovic. Sikovic is a central defender, and he is part of those that I signed in the winter, right? He is part of those, and he's a really good one. He's a Croatian, 20 years old, and he can play on either side. He also got a reasonable left foot, so he can also. He is right now my third choice best central defender. Yes, you heard me right. Third best central defender. And he's very, very good as a third choice. Now he's gonna rotate with the other two best players in there. That's pretty much guaranteed, right? The only weakness he really got, this guy, is his composure is only 7, which is not great, but he could develop a bit, and I think it will go up to 8 or 9 over the years. So a fantastic signing, this one. He is on some really heavy wages, but I thought he would be my first choice in there on the right hand side. Well, as it happens, he's gonna be second choice on either side. So he's gonna get playtime, no worries. He's gonna get plenty of playtime, this guy. But I'm very happy about it, and I think he is he's fairly determined, and he got all the numbers that he needs for being a good defender. Maybe except for the composure, but it is what it is. He even got first touch of 11, 10 passing range, 11 vision. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be really, really good. So that was the central defender. Now, what is funny here? None of the other two are actually central defenders. So you might be thinking, what? Who is the last defender then? If you remember my team, right? Well, that's the fun part, because I did mention one player that was not on the list here. So let's take a look at the last two here. Wesley. Now this is a pretty big signing for me. He's a foreign player, Brazilian, 26. Not my normal profile of players, right? He is worth a lot of money. Did I pay anything for him? No, he came from a free from Sepp. I don't know what that's actually. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't have the real names in there, real name changes and all that. But yeah, they've been playing in Brazil for a long time, and now he's coming for us. He is a Well, here's the thing. He can play on either side. No worries. He can play on either side. Definitely play on either side. But he's a winger if he's going over here, which I don't really like. So, for the most part, he is my... oh, right. He's my first choice inside forward. The other guy was second choice inside forward now. Sorry about that. I was mistaken about the other guy we had signed. What was his name? The first one. Uritka. Yeah. So Wesley is actually my first choice over here, right? So we will definitely play a lot with an inside forward on the left-hand side as well, because this guy is... I wouldn't say he's our best player in the club, but he is up there. He is definitely up there. 3,500 wages. I guess you could say that's high, but you know what? For what he gives us, I think it might be a very, very good deal. I think this could be a very good deal. Look at those player traits. That's an looks for pass rather than attempting to score. So he's not going to score a whole lot for us, but he could be the main assist maker, this guy. Cuts inside from both wings. Perfect. Likes ball played into feet. That's probably the only one that I don't like in this one, because our tactic is not really a pass first kind of mentality. It's more like dribble and runs and through balls and stuff like that. So, but he is running a lot with the ball, so that's pretty good. And he cuts inside from the left. So he got cuts inside from both wings and also cuts inside with from left wing. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's not on a long contract. He's only here for 2 years. He didn't want a longer contract. I couldn't give him a longer contract. But I think he's gonna be really, really good. Now, my problem right now is I do not have a lot of wide target men. So I might go away from using wide targetsmen because I didn't sign any. This was the last winger I got in. So I think we're okay on the winger situation, especially on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, you know, we only really got, what is his name? I always forget his name. Damn it. One of our best players the last 2 seasons. I don't remember his name. So that's the new inside forward on the left-hand side. So we got 2 of those, actually, which we needed. We did need some depth in that area. Toro Grossa. Ernesto Toro Grossa. Oh boy. This is also an interesting signing, isn't it? Yeah. He's 33. Colombian. He's only here for a year because he's 33. But he's a quality player, right? He's an absolute quality player. He's gonna give Bornemann up top or Siska, you know, some pressure to that starting player role. I think he might be our best player up front, also because he might be able to score a lot more goals than the other 2. So and one of the reasons why this guy was the one that I went for, and not a couple of other old guys, is because he's pretty well rounded and he can play a complete forward. Now, why am I saying this? Well, because I'm playing with a complete forward now. So that's the tactical change. That's the tactical change right there. And if you look at his numbers, you're gonna think, okay, yeah, he's gonna do some bits. He's gonna do some bits for us. What is to worry here? Well, he's 33, so his numbers will his physicals are definitely gonna go down. So we need to hopefully make sure that he's gonna get a lot of play time early on, because when we get to possibly when we get further into the season, these numbers are gonna go down. So yeah, it's a 1-season deal, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that's the last player we got in. Well, not really. We got 1 more, but yeah. Let me show you who we got, who is not on the list. None other than Marcel. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, we got him on loan from Inter. We're paying 2,300 wages, but why would I not do that, right? Yes, I did get in a lot of new central defenders, but I would not get anyone that is as good as Marcel. And they were allowing us to get him back on loan again. And he wanted to go. He asked for it. He asked to get back on loan. This guy is crazy. I believe he actually asked for it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly how it went down, but yeah, the loan back is here. So for a season, right? I mean, I can't complain too much for 2,300 wages with how good he was last season. Bang in. He's in there again. And I mean, he's only gonna get better, isn't he, over the season? So lovely, and that's why I said that someone like that Danish boy was going back to HB Køge. He wasn't a mistake from the get-go, right? Because he was actually coming in to take Marcel's spot along with a couple of other players. But with Marcel there, well, we don't really have room for some of those central defenders. So, but lovely, absolutely lovely. So that's the kind of the last deal that I have done. We could have more because the transfer is not over. The transfer season is not over. Summer transfer season is not over yet. There could be more coming in or coming out. Mostly probably going out, I would say. But if there is anything coming in, this is the squad right now as it looks. If there is anything coming in, it would probably be on the right-hand side as a wide target man or inside forward, right? That's where we probably need to strengthen ourselves a little bit. But let's actually go into the squad depth and take a look at how it all adds up. So this is all positionings, but I've taken out some of the places where we don't really need them. And these positionings is also, if you didn't see the last episode where I explained it, this is also where I see them. Take that guy out. This is also the positionings where I see the player where they can play the best, right? This is where I see them as where they could do the best. So we do have more depth than what is looked on here, right? We do have more players that can go up and play as striker, right? A lot more. But I don't want them up there. I mean, Siska could go up there easily. He's probably best up there. But I have actually decided to say that he's probably better on the right-hand side. Also because we kind of need him over there this season. So that's how I've done it. So we got Wesley. I mean, what I'm looking for here is 3 players on either on all spots. So we got 3 players here. We got 3 players here. We got 2 players here. But Siska is kind of halfway up there, right? He's definitely gonna get some games up there. So we are pretty good in the 3 central spots. If I would do anything here, it is moving Siska up here and get another player on this spot instead of him. Because Sutil, you know, but he's here for another season and I couldn't get rid of him. So yeah, we might as well use him. Midfield, we got too many. We needed 6 players here because we got 2 spots in the midfield, of course. So right now we still got two players that are, well. But, I mean, Budensky, I hope to get rid of him somehow. Vilcek is just a youngster. And Kronert, well, I could also get rid of him. But he could also actually... I might keep Kronert this season. He might not play, really. But he could bring us up to the 25 registered players in the European competitions. And if we are having a good time in the European competitions and don't really... just can rotate really heavily... well, that's a reason enough for me to keep Kronert if I can't get rid of him and use him that way. Defensive midfielders, we got 4 of them actually, so absolutely no concerns there. I could get rid of one of them and it wouldn't be a problem. Wow, my voice just went. Need to drink some coffee, right? In the central defense, we got 6 players. I just took one out, if you saw that, it was 7. I just took one out here between when I was drinking some coffee. We got 6 players on that one, and that's pretty perfect. That's about what we need, right? And the three main guys, Marcel, Hausdag, and Sikovic is gonna get, I wouldn't say all the games, but a lot of them. But Darker and Starek and Horak is, well, the backup to those guys, right? So pretty good on that, and that's rock solid. I think that's rock solid. On the wingback on the right hand side, we got Dera still. I'm kind of trying to get rid of him because he only got 1 year left on his contract, and I'm not planning to give him a new contract anyway. So, but if he's here for 1 more season, fair enough. But we got 6 players here, and I don't really need more than 3, maximum 4. So we got a couple of that should probably go out on loans or get sold, but we'll see what happens. The 2 guys that I probably want to keep is likely Hervoy and Henrique. The other guys could go. They could go, but Hervoy and Henrique, that's the 2 main guys in there, I would say. And Defi, he's 31. He's definitely good enough to play for us, but he's more like a... I'm gonna bet a little bit more on Hervoy this season. He did really well out on loan last season, but the main guy is probably Carlos Enrique, right? He's the main guy in there. So pretty good over here, but we need to get rid of a couple over on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, pretty much the same deal. We got Finson, we got Colina, we got Doodle, who's coming back from a good loan spell as well. And then we got a couple that we can definitely get rid of, like Envrella and Depressini. They are not really good enough for our team anyway, so that's a couple of guys that could go out as well. So that's the squad depth. Oh, the goalkeepers. We got Mikolec first. He's the first goalkeeper. We got Sakhada, who is actually gonna stick around this season as well because of registrations for the European competitions. And I don't really need a really good second goalkeeper. He's a youngster. Hopefully Mikolec is gonna not get injured, which would be devastating if he did now when we don't have a good second goalkeeper. But that's the chance I'm gonna take because the other guy's out on loan. So that's the chance I'm gonna take, right? Anyway, I think we have a really good squad, and I'm very happy with how it looks right now. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with all of this. Well, actually, a couple of things that I forgot here to mention early on in this episode is that Lesik actually won First Division Player of the Season. Yep. We got another award for one of our youngsters. He didn't really play a whole lot of games last season, but he did enough to get... I think he needs to 10 games to get that award. And he played 12 and he got 7.44, so... I wouldn't say that's cheating, but... well, yeah, there we go. And in other news, Aikidi have also signed a new deal. I absolutely wanted him again. I mean, why wouldn't I sign him for another 4 years? He's been fantastic. He's only gotten better every season, hasn't he? Pretty much. And he's playing standard 20 games, right? And that's good. That's good enough for me. 7.29 last season. Absolutely fantastic on that halfback role. Definitely one of the best signings that we have done overall, I would say. That's been a few, but he's been one of the better ones, right? And yeah, he's 26, a 4-year deal, so that will run to until he's 30. That's perfect. Could even, you know, sell him for a good profit in a 2 or 3 years time. Brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. So that's the other news that happened. You know, and yeah, I didn't really, you know, give a lot of new contracts out. Only Aikidi, actually. That's the only one, right? That's the only one. Moving over to the tactic, we don't really have a lot to say here, don't we? There is only one change compared to last season, and that is that we play with a complete forward. That's it. That's the only thing. And so far, it's been looking quite good with a complete forward. And we got Tora Grossa, who can play out there as a you know, a complete forward. Siska can also do it. Bornemann can also do it. Just because the numbers doesn't look like they can do it, or just because it's saying, oh, he's not, you know, it's not possible to do that. His numbers are suggesting that he can absolutely do it, and his performances in the friendlies absolutely suggest that he can play it like that. So I don't have a worry about those kind of things. If they got the numbers, and if they got the mentality, and if they are also playing really well on that positioning, just because it's saying that his ability as playing there is not good, well, shut up, assistant manager, then. I mean, shut those assistant managers and backroom staff up, because that's not true. He can absolutely play up there, and so can Bornemann as a complete forward. Bornemann is definitely third choice, I would say, up there, but he might be second choice just because I want Siska on that wide target man role. So that is all that I have done with the... That's it. That's everything with the tactic. So that was easy. So here's the question. Can we make an upset in the league? Can we finally get another winner in this league that is not called Slavia or Sparta? I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since Victoria Pilsen won as well. Which is probably our biggest rival, right? I think Victoria Pilsen is our biggest rivals. Just because they are the ones that could get that third spot. I don't think we are quite there yet. If we take a look at the season preview here, we are going up in odds. Definitely going up in odds. 17. I think last time we were at 21. Was it? I don't know, last season? I think it was 21 last season. And before that, it was 51. So the media prediction is also suggesting that we are getting a little bit better, but we are nowhere near the strength of Sparta or Slavia Prague just yet. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't get into those spots anyway. I'm gonna predict a third place again. I don't think we're good enough to get into top 2 just yet. I think I'm gonna predict a third place. That's probably where we are gonna belong. Yeah, but we do have a more consistent squad now. We are playing with a lot of the same players as we did last season, and only strengthen the squad with the likes of Wesley and Tora Grossa, and also having Marcel back again. And also the midfield is just solid in there. So I think we could potentially see a little bit of a... I would like to see a couple more points. Just, 4 or 5 more points. That would be nice to see that in the league. In terms of the other competitions, well, that's really hard to predict. I can't really tell what is gonna... We are gonna go into the playoff, of course. No one has been drawn yet, so we don't know who we are gonna get. But there are some big boys in here. I mean, there are Feyenoord, there are Genk, Dnipro, Dundee, Panathinaikos, and Besiktas. Any of those, maybe except from Dundee, would be really, really hard opponents. Yeah, that would be... Maybe Panathinaikos is not that good either. I think Panathinaikos and Dundee, if we could get one of those two, we would have a really, really, really good chance to get into the Europa League. But no matter what, like I mentioned, if we lose that game in the playoffs, we will still get into the Conference League group stages. So it wouldn't be bad. It would be... I hope to do a little bit better in the FA Cup again. I would like to go at least into the semi-finals. That's my, and I think it's also, reach semi-finals. That's where I also want to get. But we are entering in the 3rd round, so it's a little bit later than most. So that's also pretty damn decent. So that's the situation when it comes to what I also want to see from these competitions, right? But what we are going to do in those group stages when we get in there in the Euro Cups, that depends on the groups, right? That really depends on the draws. So there we go. So the last thing I want to mention here before I'm cutting this episode is the registration rules and all that, right? Now for the Czech First Division, no problems. We don't even go full max here with 25 players. We don't even need that as it looks right now. So no problems. There is never going to be a problem in the registrations in the Czech Republic unless we don't have enough, trained in the Czech Republic between whatever ages here. But we only need 4 of them. We have 11. But where the struggle is gonna go is in here. Now we do not have it. We only have 2 homegrowns, and we need 4. That means we can only have a squad of 23. Yep, that's a problem. That's a problem. There are gonna be players that are gonna be mad because they're not gonna get into this competition. There are gonna be some rather important players, and it's also a balance between what do I need and how good are they. That's gonna be a balance. I haven't decided just yet, but that's gonna be interesting to figure out who we are actually gonna pick for the competitions, because we can't pick everyone. That's not that we got how many players do we have here? 30, something like that. 31, right? We need to cut that down to 23. We need to cut that down to 23 players, right? That's about it, because we only got 2 homegrowns in here. We got... Where are they? We got Siska. Siska is one of them. And he don't even need to be registered because he's under 21. But I'm going to do it anyway, because why not? And Sakata, same deal. He doesn't need to be registered. So we have... If we take those 2 out, we still have 29 players, and only 23 can be registered. That is 7 players that I need to cut out. Sorry, 6 players that I need to cut out, right? That's gonna be interesting. So I just wanted to mention that because that's something that I need to deal with as a manager, also going forward. That you could have a lot of good players, but you cannot pick all of them for the competitions here. So yeah. But I think that's the end of it, guys. I think that's the end of this episode, and I think we're pretty much ready to get into the season now. Of course, there could still be more transfers and all that, but we will get to those in the next couple of episodes if they happen. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you around for the next season. Is that season 5 or 4? I think that's season. I've forgotten. I've actually forgotten. But anyway, I'll see you around for the next season.